Once upon a time, there was a young man who was never satisfied. No matter what he achieved, he always wanted more. When he had little, he longed for more. When he had more, he wanted everything. His heart felt empty, and no success could fill it. One day, he heard of an old wise man who lived deep in the mountains. Someone said to have answers to life's deepest questions. Determined to find peace, the young man set out on a long and exhausting journey. He crossed hills, streams, and forests, facing fatigue and doubts along the way. But he pressed on, driven by hope. Finally, he reached a small house at the mountain's peak. The wise man sat outside, silently sipping tea. Frustrated, the young man demanded, "Why am I never satisfied? Why do I always feel empty?" The wise man poured tea into a cup until it overflowed, spilling onto the ground. "You are like this cup," he said, "full of expectations and desires. How can I teach you anything if you are already full?" The young man stayed with the wise man, but there were no lessons, only work, fetching water, tending the garden, and eating in silence. At first, he was angry and impatient, longing for answers. Yet, as days passed, he began to notice small things, the rhythm of nature, the growth of plants, and the quiet beauty around him. One morning, a seed he had planted finally sprouted. He realized that not everything grows on our schedule, and true happiness requires patience and presence. The wise man said, "You chase happiness, but it grows only where you learn to wait and appreciate." The young man began to practice patience in thought and action. He found joy in simple moments, the sun on his skin, the wind in the trees, and the blooming garden he had nurtured. Life was no longer something to conquer. It was something to observe, appreciate, and be part of. After many months, he felt ready to return home. Before leaving, he told the wise man, "I have learned that I was always full of things that made me empty. True peace comes when you stop chasing and simply wait." The wise man smiled and nodded. The young man returned to the world, not to achieve more, but to simply be. He carried the quiet strength of patience, appreciation, and presence in his heart, finally finding the peace he had long sought.